James, thank you for jumping on, mate.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Will.
There we go. Hey, look, it's great to obviously catch up and review your progress. You know, you've hit a milestone, you're hitting milestone after milestone every single month. And I know we're just talking small scales right now, but what I really like to reflect on is, you know, when you hit that first 10K, first 14K month, I think it was for you last month, that's almost like the hardest thing that you'll do, because coming from zero or low numbers to that first 10K, it's like that's quite a number of customers. And in my experience and what I've observed with other brands too, is like that's often the most challenging because of the validation, because of the lack of funds, because of managing cash flow and stock and all these sorts of other things, right? So it is a really pivotal milestone for you. So obviously, firstly, congratulations, and we'll go through obviously
Thank
what you
you.
did, details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But before we do, I'd love to just get a bit of an intro to yourself and what you do, and we can jump into some, you know, technical questions from there.
Yeah. Thanks, Will. So, as you know, I'm James, and I run Op Events Nutrition. So we are an e-commerce based business, but we also sell into pharmacy and into retail, our products. So I initially wasn't doing any of the marketing side of things, but had to fill the role about 6 or 7 months ago with a limited budget and and limited experience as well. So I guess over the 6 or 7 months that I've been with the group, it's been a big learning curve, and obviously we've watching how we spend, why we spend it, what we spend it on, the metrics that make things sustainable and keep them sustainable, and what to do, what not to get off track. So I guess this first period, and getting to last month at 14K was really about putting a foundation in place about what not to do and what to do, and what to continue doing, and to stay on track. Really, that's really the main thing, because we know that the things that have been put in place, we know they work, right? And we know that, importantly, we know why they work, and that I think is a big key, because you can see something working and go, that's great, and if you don't know why, and all of a sudden it goes off, then it can be distracting then to think you need to do something else. So I think that's where the group really came to the fore, and yourself, coaching and mentoring and having the experience, hearing other people in the group as well, and real life experience that the problems are real, but so are the solutions. They're real as well. So I think that's probably been my biggest experience up until now, Will.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's super insightful, and honestly just really common, like, because I mean, and you had the wisdom, and I'll get into that in a second, about what made you take action to get help with your business, because that is unique in itself. A very small percentage of people choose to do that, ourselves included. Before I got help with our e-commerce business that my brother and I started from scratch, from the kitchen bench, it was a funds thing for sure, but honestly, it was more ego that we've spent 5 years going through and just trying everything, almost going under a couple of times and whatnot. And it took that long to actually get help. And as soon as we did, that was some massive breakthroughs. And that's where, as you say, like, you don't know what path you're going down, and sure, trial and error, it's like, I'll figure it out myself. But if you can speed 5 years up into 5 months, pretty much like you've done, because it took us 14, 15 months to hit our first 10K month, and it's taken you 6 or 5 or whatever it is, you're on a much faster trajectory than we could have been, which is, as I say, like, really amazing that you obviously had seen that through experience or through whatever. But I mean, maybe just explain that a touch before you jumped in. What was that circumstance, and like, how old was the business? And then you said you'd just been inherited, like, the marketing side of things. Was it more just like, I don't know what to do and I need to get help here? Or what was it sort of like?
Yeah, it was a bit of a combination of all those things. So we our business was wasn't the main part, was online. The main part of our business was part of an export contract, which during COVID, it was export to China, and we had Australia had problems with the export relationships with China. Contract fell over, and all of a sudden the online business became sort of the more important aspect that we could focus on and to build what we had. So I think that's sort of how I came, and then at that point in time, the role was vacated for managing the online part of the business. So I guess I stepped in there to fill that void. So it's not my background at all. Is in e-commerce or marketing. I think everyone's got some kind of sales ability in them. But in terms of understanding and knowing what to do, I pretty much stepped into the unknown. Just sort of grabbed the helm and thought about where do I steer this thing.
Yeah. So yeah, you were pretty aware that it was like, I need to get some, support, whatever capacity.
So
even that, I mean, we tend to gravitate to YouTube University or whatever it might be. I
mean, no, I did jump around a bit, like to find a co-pilot or to find some way to understand what was going on, because I guess my background is business, and business is driven by data and making decisions around what you do. So whether that's financial data or whether it's clicks or whatever other kind of data available, it's all out there to understand. And I really did my best to try and understand what was happening with the business. And obviously you go on explorations and things to try and find what the meaning behind it of whatever it is that you're thinking of collecting or doing, and you don't understand the importance of particular information as well, or what you're collecting or why you're collecting it, because there's just so much out there. There's a massive amount in just, as you know, in just one platform. Like there's just huge amounts of data, and if you go down to SEO, which I learned about, you go on influencers, which you learned about email marketing, which I learned about the importance of Facebook and Instagram, social followings, paid ads on those platforms, paid ads in Google. I'm just throwing off a couple.
As we spoke about, a few minutes ago, it's their expertise in themselves, and us as business owners must then either be experts or know a little about a hell of a lot. And that's really challenging. As you mentioned with the information, there's obviously too much information out there, and hence why you can go looking for it. But then, that's great. But what about my specific business? What about my specific? And so what about my stage of the business? And that's where, a lot of people definitely come in to the community and they have the same thoughts. They're just like, what do I do for myself? And so what was it specifically? I think we had spoken at the time on a call, and did you have any reservations about jumping in, or was it more just like, I know I need to do this, this feels like a right fit, or was there something in the back of your mind that was like still doubtful, or I'd just love to
No, not really. I kind of needed and knew it was just a matter of finding the right person, Will, and the right people and the right platform.
That's great.
But I was looking for something genuine, right? Something like practical, helpful, supportive, and consistency. And as we spoke, that they're the kind of things that led me to join the group and to stay with the group. And honestly, it's been a very, very good experience. It's not knowing that it's there, and knowing that with all the other businesses in there, that you can see that that people are having the same challenges. So you then learn within, okay, this isn't just unique to me. This isn't. It's a certain amount of it is unique to e-commerce. a certain amount of it is unique to each person and how they approach things, and what they perceive to be important. But I find the group levels that out on that level, but also on a real practical, like, I've got this ad, it's got this copy, to that level of detail. That's where it really, like, rubber hits the road. And then that I find that the group then can also extend to, the kind of help where, okay, I'm struggling this month. What's the solution? What are the levers that I should focus on today? So, really grounding stuff, and stuff that, that lets you get on with, doing the right things for your business that make it grow, and not sit around doing things for your business that don't make it grow, or worry about things that you shouldn't be. So with all those things, it really sort of, brings it into focus, and and it allows you to move forward. And as we know, there's no magic bullet. It's do the work, and analyze the results, see what's working, do more of that, or focus on that.
It is. I mean, you've identified some really important things, and obviously you're sharing kind of how you've extracted the value, and as you say, being in an environment with like-minded people, because we're online, we have access to the world, and we should feel connected. And yet when we're in our own business behind our desk at home, like, we're so isolated. And so it's really easy to feel, oh, this is only just happening to me, or this person's killing it over there, what are they doing? Really anxious about things. But being in that environment and seeking help, or just seeing feedback, or understanding how people are feeling and going through things, as you mentioned, typically, it's very relatable, but typically there's solutions attached to that. So it's like, okay, cool.
So.
Now, okay, this is how I feel. Okay, I'll go and engage with the community, either on a group call or in a comment or something like that. But now I know what to do to get back on track. And as you said, instead of the former being like, oh, I'll just go tinker with my website a little bit, that doesn't move the needle really, that's just a distraction. It's like, I know I need to put myself out there more and reach out to more influencers. I know I need to work harder on my ads, stuff that's going to actually drive sales, right? So really, really importantly. And I think for you, I've observed it's no coincidence. Like, we've said this, it's no coincidence you're at where you're at now and where you're going to get to in the next 12 months, because of your attitude, your diligence, your ability to track and form relationships, obviously with the assistance and guidance of us as coaches and as a community and a program. But you bring that to the table as well. You're motivated. You know what's on the other side of cracking those codes for Facebook or the emails or whatever, just that next step ahead of you, So you show up to the calls, you post in the community, you're involved. And when you give, I've noticed amongst many successful people, when you start with what can I give and contribute, you receive so much more in return, not just in terms of information and whatnot, but also universally, whatever it might be, through results. Right? Those people are the most successful. I can roll off probably half a dozen just in 5 seconds of people who have done exactly the same as you and had the same active nature in the community and got very, very successful results,
It's a pleasure to participate in the community, Will, and to do those things, because it feels good. It does. It's like, okay, let's all do this. Let's do this. So it's a bit of a community. It's like everyone's encouraging each other, and
absolutely,
on that level. But then also people have a lot of experience behind them. I mean, you see a face or in the group, but all of a sudden, when a particular topic's being discussed or something, it's happened many times. It's happened many times where it's like someone's just dropped, like, wow, okay, that's fantastic. That's and you often have takeaways from every time that we meet. Go, okay, that's something I can use, from what I'm doing, or that's let me explore that a bit more. So it kind of opens up. It's like many minds are better than one. So
100%, exactly right.
So that's the kind of thing that, which is why being part of the group, then I want to share some of the things that I've had an experience, and hopefully someone else in the group goes, oh, okay, bang, I get, that's good. Thanks, James. That's good.
Totally.
We
Yeah.
spoke and did that. And you often don't know that that's happening, but
That's right.
You kind of do, but you just got to go through that process and just participate, really. Just participate. And then
that's exactly right. That participation and the reciprocity, and as I say, you've been really generous with your time and expertise. And so we just going back to strategically, right? So your growth, what do you think those levers have been, whether it is the 1, 2, or 3 things that's like, yep, that's definitely helped. Like was it the ads or the emails, or what was it specifically that you've driven the results?
I do think it's knowing that each part has to work together. It is kind of what dropped for me is to, it was focusing on paid ads, for example, and going, why aren't my ads working? And I need to spend more on ads, and I need better ads. But then there was like the aspect of, okay, well, if I didn't build, say, my Facebook following, for example, I'd have no one to. I've had no warm audience then to be able to talk to, and I didn't know about bottom of funnel ads. I had no idea. So it's like, okay, so now I can put an ad at the bottom of funnel and send that to someone who's liked my page, and that potentially creates a virtuous circle of building the business. So they're the things that I didn't know. And there's probably still a lot that I don't know. Like just the amount that I've learnt over the time that I've learnt that I don't know a lot, but I've learnt to. Well, once you know that, okay, well, keep doing the things that are important, that things that do make those things happen, and then you can learn more and be more in depth with each of those things. So, I'd say I'm like, getting a handle now on all of those aspects, and I'm no expert by any means in any of them, but I'm kind of being a jack of all trades in all things. So I guess my other thought is about
like you said, as you said before, getting those building blocks and the foundational things, like especially the ones that you don't know about. And it's like, that's a very, like retargeting, for example, majority of people don't have any system there, or just don't know because they don't know, right? And so as soon as we say, in the first 7 days, let's get retargeting going, they're like, oh, that makes sense. That's why that brand follows me around all the time. That's why, I purchased that because I saw another ad. So to be able to have that in your own system is like magic. It's like email flows. When people don't have email flows going, they're like, what do you mean I can get sales from people automatically, sending them email? Like it's amazing. It's been, I mean, as I say, your commitment and your absorption of information, but then also the action taking has been second to none. And the speed at which you do, and then reflect on the numbers, and it's all data driven, is just exceptional. And that's what obviously going to push you to that next level as well. And it will continue to do so. It's just an inevitability, as we spoke about. Just to kind of, I guess, recap as a kind of a last question. I mean, seeing where you were those months ago before we had met, before you jumped in the program, knowing that you needed to get help, that's the majority of people don't sort of know they need help as such, or at least have the confidence in what you had sort of done, where you're just like, yep, I'm just waiting for the good fit. Not a lot of people are in that position, to be honest with you, but people that are stuck and stagnated and overwhelmed, like you can probably relate to that. Like, what would you sort of say to people like that? What would sort of be the advice at that point, if you can think back, retrospectively? Those
I think, well, I think if I hadn't joined the group, I would probably be, still doing things, but I wouldn't have, I think we know that I wouldn't have been able to bring it together as quickly, which is really, really essential to do for any business, is to like, okay, how do I bring this together, in the most efficient way. It's like driving to the shop, and like, instead of going from straight to the shop, you take a turn and you go, well, where am I? And then you got to stop and look at the map, and then you got to work out where to turn next and what to do. And if you're doing that on your own, it's a bit like navigating without the GPS to get you from A to B. So I think the thing is, it's a quicker way to A to B. So in terms of like joining the group, I go back to what I looked for, and like, genuine, something that'll really help, something that has community, ongoing, and they're the elements that I found, because I have been part of other groups, and been, that there's always been some aspect missing. Something's been a little disappointing, and within the group itself, they don't really know that it's missing, because they're too just focused on whatever, that one thing that they think is, or two things or three things, whatever they think is, is going to get you there. But and I went down a couple of those paths, and then realized, okay, well, this is missing, and I'm still on my own in this aspect, and I just think if any part of that is missing, it stretches the journey out a lot longer, and then you kind of got to work that out yourself, and it might not ever complete the puzzle doing that.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I thought, well, it's to have everything in one place is quite unique, and do it, and it's and it's turned out to be the right choice. So that all those things are there.
Amazing.
To do it. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of the group, and the and the support, and the way it's been set up. And I guess when that's, well, I'm assuming that's come from your experience. As you said, you've done some years, wandering around, sort of trying to work things out yourself as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So what I got a question. How did you get motivated to put a group together?
On the record, well, I can't believe you don't know, but basically, I had seen some gaps in the let's call it the coaching, consulting, mentoring space within e-commerce. Having come from that background, 2013, been in the industry for, at that point it was 2022, so 9 years with the business, and I saw a lot of just gurus and fakers, and been through programs and agencies, and a lot of confusion and overwhelm. And so what I wanted to bring to it was authenticity, right? And just facts, honestly, right? Yeah. It actually stemmed from when I was running Facebook ads. So in 2020 or 2019, I started running ads for Facebook ads for e-commerce businesses. So I managed about 100 brands accounts over sort of 2-3 years. And then when iOS 14 came in, which was the Apple privacy changes, which means it was masking a lot of the privacy, right? Due to privacy, masking a lot of the data. The performance of Facebook ads went through the floor, basically for everybody, because they changed a lot of things. So I started advising on other things, emails and conversion rate and all this sort of stuff. And I said, I can't just be doing Facebook ads. So that's when I evolved into the Ecom Blueprint. And I said, this is going to be an advisory. I'm going to teach you guys to do it all yourself, but it's going to be holistic, because this connects with this, connects with this. As you mentioned, it's not just the one.
It is.
And so what others were doing was, let's just do Facebook ads. That's the solution to all my problems. It's not, because you can drive as much traffic through ads, but if you're not converting, if your pricing's not right, if this doesn't stack up, if you're not sending emails, it's not going to work. And so that's when I moved into this space. And I know we've got a very unique product, if you want to call it a product, but strategy with what we do. And that's what I love it to be like. I don't want to be like anyone else. I want it to be intimate. I want it to be small. I want to keep people only focus on results. That's all that matters to me. And so my ear to the ground within the community is always about what we can do to improve and do better. So plans for EB 4.0, we're on 3.0, but I got plans for EB 4.0, and that's just going to be better, updated, of course. But that's how I got into this. And honestly, selfishly or not, like, where I get the most joy and pleasure is seeing people succeed and win. And so that's what motivated me to do it, basically.
Excellent.
And yeah, I'm thankful for everyone in the community, and I love that you're so generous with your time and sharing your experience with others. So I appreciate it. So thank you so much, James, for
thank
all
you
of that. And onwards and upwards to bigger and better things with your business. So
absolutely.
thank you,
Thanks,
mate.
Will.
Cheers.
Cheers.